How the heck are you crazy creeps? We are standing right downtown Portland today, and the reason why I'm here is we are not too far from an old record store that I used to go to a bunch in the 90s, OZONE Records. That's right, today we're gonna do a little Portland history of some of the Portland record shops. But first I wanted to show you the location of one of my favorite spots. Now unfortunately they closed, in about 2010. They opened up in 93, so they definitely had a good run. In fact, they even had some shows at the record store. So let's go up to Burnside and check out some old Portland record store history, and then we're gonna take a look at some other stores that are still operating. But I wanted to take you guys to one of my favorite record stores here in Portland, OZONE Records. We're gonna do a little remembrance. So stay tuned, it's gonna be a good one. All right, just making our way up to Burnside, and I got the trusty umbrella with me, just kind of sprinkling at the moment. But yeah, I wanted to take you guys up here and just do a little remembrance of one of my favorite places to creep. Now back in 93 when they opened, I was about 13, so I didn't really get up here until about 96 I think was the very first time. And I was in the market for a certain t-shirt for a little band called Blink 182. That's right, they were coming to Portland to do a show along with a couple other bands that went on to do really well. 30-06 and a couple other bands were going to be performing at the time as well. And yeah, those were some good times. The Manic Panic days is what I like to call them. If you guys don't remember what Manic Panic is or was, it was a hair dye. And I was in the market for a Blink 182 shirt and some Manic Panic. I was all ready for some punk rock action. And so we're gonna go up there next and check it out. All right, just got to Burnside here. A lot of really cool little shops along here as well. And one thing that I always reminds me, as well as the old punk rock days, is this Dr. Martin's boots here. If you guys are like me, you rock the old 90s boots, and they were kind of the staple in the punk rock scene. And if you look right up top here, Doc Martin boot up there on the roof, kind of protruding out of the side of the building there. And it started raining, so I'm glad I brought my trusty umbrella. And not to mention, I also noticed this behind me as well. I actually remember seeing this with Mark Fun Jones, but there's a local t-shirt shop here. They actually got a Jim Spags shirt here. Check this out, Happy Doodles, Jim Spags. Definitely Portland. All right, let's keep moving. We're going right up here on the corner of West Burnside and 11th, as you can see here. And right across the street, right here, which is now a Buffalo Exchange, which is kind of like a thrift store. I don't know, I think you would call it more of like a, you bring them your clothes and they will resell them, or they will even do some consignment where you can bring them your clothes and they'll resell them. But this is the Buffalo Exchange. But in 1993, this was the iconic OZONE Records, and we trekked all the way down here that night to find our t-shirt, and unfortunately we ended up going to another record location to find it. But this is it. This would have been the famous OZONE Records here. And in fact, what makes it really cool is you can kind of see up there on the roof, that little bracket there was where the original signage is for the OZONE. I actually found some old school photos of the symbol, not the sign. Unfortunately, they closed in about 2000 and I think it was the end of 2009. But since 93, this was it, OZONE Records. And in fact, this telephone pole kind of thing here holding up the awning, this was covered in stickers. We would come here, go in, check out our favorite music, and then either buy a sticker or have some with us. And this whole entire pole was lined with, you know, different bands, local bands, 30-06, Blink-182, Guttermouth, you name it. And this was the spot. And now it's a clothing store, like I said, the Buffalo Exchange, which they've got their sign up now. And they're not open at the moment. There's some folks standing out here kind of waiting to get in. But yeah, this is it. This would have been the spot where you would come and get your, you know, music posters, CDs, records, tapes, and all kinds of punk rock gear. So we're gonna see if we might be able to peek the camera in just for a minute. And I wanna ask permission, of course, first. But yeah, it brings back all the feels actually just standing here. But yeah, this was so cool because this pole was covered in all kinds of good stickers, and I actually found a lot of bands just from reading the stickers. Oh, she just now opened, so. Nice, all right. So yeah, this is definitely bringing back some good memories. In fact, I totally remember the ceiling and all the like pipe work, and also just the location itself, kind of the layout definitely brings back some good memories. But I remember this roof, the ceiling had some really weird like paintings, and all throughout here they had their, you know, music posters and the different sections where they kept the records. But I definitely remember the weird, you know, the HVAC piping on the roof totally. And then I think this is the original floor as well. And man, yeah, just stepping in here definitely remembers a lot of good times, definitely a lot of different times. But yeah, this is cool. And I'm noticing this old brickwork, probably definitely the same, maybe even the same colors. I don't know, I just remember the ceiling being really weird, kind of decked out with a lot of different, like, you know, artwork and graffiti. And yeah, just stepping in there brought back so many good memories. In fact, I remember standing right here waiting for some friends inside and kind of being bummed that I didn't find this shirt, but I was also blown out of the water by how much cool other stuff they had. And in fact, I found an old school picture of a gentleman kind of digging through some records. I'll insert that now. Kind of harder standing across the street here because it started getting rainy, but I actually found a picture here online, and if you look closely there, you can see what I was talking about, the ceiling having that kind of weird art all over it. But there you have it. That would have been the inside of where we just walked out of, Ozone Records. Pretty cool. Put the Marilyn Manson shirt there. Comedy. The Crystal Ballroom, where a lot of shows, a lot of performers would come, and so we would literally leave the show, or even before the show, we would come through here and check out all the music, and then after the show, or even before, we'd walk down to the pizza place there, which is now Sizzle Pie, and get a slice. But yeah, a lot of good memories coming into this spot. And back as a teenager, you know, it was kind of a big deal coming all the way into Portland for music. It was really a fun adventure. My buddy had a big Cadillac, and we would drive down here and park close by, or we would even just take the train in all the way from opposite side of town just to come to the record store here and see some of our favorite flyers. Now, they actually did a couple shows here. I believe 30-06 performed here in about 96 or 97. It was 30-06 and a couple other punk bands that came through. Hey, do you guys remember when this was Ozone?
I don't.
Oh.
I'm from New York.
Oh, you're from New York. Yeah. This was a really cool record store in Portland for years called Ozone Records. Oh, nice. And I'm just vlogging it. I just thought I'd ask you guys real quick.
No, sorry.
I thought this guy would know. You look like you might be in the Ramones, you know what I mean? Like you got that good style. Are you? Christopher. Really? I'm giving you some knuckles here, bro. That's awesome. You want to plug your band or anything?
Stuffy Shmitt.
What is it?
Stuffy Shmitt.
Stubby?
Stuffy Shmitt. S-H-M-I-T-T, Stuffy Shmitt.
Nice, brother.
And the new record that just came out is the deluxe edition of Stuff Happens.
Nice.
Stuff Happens.
I'm really looking you up.
It's very expensive.
I'm leaving your links. Peace, bro. So yeah, we got some Portland, we got some musicians coming through still. To this day, he said he's doing his music, so pretty darn cool. Now it is just like a, you know, a thrift store, or kind of a new and recycled fashion store is what they're calling it. But this would have been it. This is where you would go and get all your new coming artists. They even had flyers in the windows. But to get back to what I was saying, they actually did have a couple openings here for a couple local punk bands, and I believe the lead singer to 30-06 passed away not too long ago. So I have to say rest in peace to him. And yeah, definitely some good times. And to play at like smaller venues like that was really awesome. You know, to me it was like, there may not even have been a flyer. It was just like you happen to be there in the time, and you might just be even going into the music store just to grab some music, and there'd be other bands coming through promoting their music and stuff. So pretty darn cool.
And I recently realized that they actually tried to make a comeback on another location just last year off of Killingsworth, and they started an Instagram, which I found some old pictures on their Instagram.
Was OZONE Records, one of the coolest record stores in Portland, and at the time there really wasn't that many. We're blessed with a lot now, but this was it, OZONE Records. You guys know what those are? All right, just got here to 2nd and now, which is Harvey Milk, but for years was Stark Street. And this was another record store that we frequented quite a bit. And this is the 2nd Avenue Records here with the little ska guy up on the sign there. But yeah, these guys, unfortunately they're not open, which really stinks because I wanted to go in here. It's been many years since well, I walked by, but it's been many years since I've actually been in. But you can see, as to this day, they still have all their t-shirts and posters right out front here that you can get. They got the Smashing Pumpkins one here. Very cool. And just a ton of music. As you can see, they got a ton more in their window display here. But yeah, just a heart and staple here for music for many years, carrying a lot of local music. In fact, there's a Poison Idea, which is a Portland band. So yeah, I don't know. Closed. We'll be here in the morning. So it looks like they have different hours here, Monday through Friday, noon to 5. Oh, so they are going to be open just in the next like 20 minutes or so, hopefully. And yeah, just a really cool record store. A ton of Portland music. Really just a staple here for music in Portland. I even see a Dead Moon shirt up there. Rest in peace to Andrew, their drummer. We visited his grave not too long ago. But yeah, this place, 2nd Avenue. We're gonna hang around just a minute and see if they might open. And yeah, just a great location. All the way around, you can see just a ton of gear. And so this is where we actually came that day after we left the OZONE Records. We walked down here to 2nd Avenue and was able to find the shirts that we wanted. My buddy actually grabbed one as well. And then we went and saw the band perform and already had the gear. Nowadays you can get all the gear online and whatnot, but back in the day you basically had to go to the show in order to get the gear. And I believe this was the label that signed Sublime, Sub Pop Records. And they carried just kind of a mismatch of en bloc, you know, like unique record labels, Epitaph, kind of ones that were maybe not so heard of, but then later on actually became very famous. But yeah, here we have it. It's too bad they're closed. I would have definitely liked to have gone in. But another great record store here, 2nd Avenue. Yep, fondly remember digging through the boxes of albums. And they always had really cool, well, even to this day, have really cool gear, shirts and flyers, and just a real good array of different music artists. Punk rock, hip hop, you know, ska. We got an Iggy Pop flyer. Nice. Oh, and some Dr. Octagon. Very cool. Yeah, I wish they were open. We got about 40 minutes actually till they're open. But just a great part of town. Got Big Pink there in the background behind that mural. So if you like records, physical music before you purchase them, come down here and support these guys. Still strong all these years later. 400 Harvey Milk Street. So this was definitely interesting. Just kind of making my way back. I was going to show you guys some of the telephone poles, but this one's on the ground. It's actually stuck to the ground. And check it out, Guttermouth, one of my favorite bands of all time, punk rock. And it looks like they're touring to the Bossa Nova Ballroom Thursday, March 3rd. So just in a few days. A couple other bands with them there, but yeah, Guttermouth, that is definitely cool. And I'm positive this was Adam the Woo's band. He actually played bass for them, I believe, for a couple years. So how Portland is that? It's funny, it's usually on a pole, but this one's stuck to the ground. Awesome. All right, just stopped into the 7-Eleven, found this little bus shelter here too because it started to rain. Oh, that's a good chai. Got some chai and mixed it with some coffee. Good old 7-Eleven kind of combo. So we're just waiting on the bus, going back to the creeper pad. I appreciate you guys as always for tuning in and tuning with, or creeping with. I always say that. You guys get what I mean. But I love you very much for always tuning in. And if you guys haven't, make sure you hit that red subscribe button. That'll dial you in to being a creeper today. You can ring that bell. That way when I do creep, you guys will be the first to creep. Good old memories. Good record stores. Good memories of the past. And yeah, the 90s were some good times. And punk's not dead. It's still around. As you can see, the Guttermouth flyer. So, love you guys. Creeper out for now. Peace.